into that being educated, exotic and orchids, and you can see one there. That one's quite beautiful. I've two guests on today from the great plant show coming up, the Summer Exotic Plant and Orchid Festival. We have Nancy Benet, nice to meet you,
Nice to meet
and Joe Rupp, nice to meet you as well. You brought along some beautiful plants and a great show coming up, which I'll tell the folks about in just a minute at Westminster Mall this weekend. Tell me a little bit about the difference between what you would consider an exotic plant and just a normal house plant. Does it come from, because it comes from different areas?
No. Well, yes. Generally, these do not grow in dirt. They're in bark, or they actually grow up on, we didn't bring that in, did we? But they grow epiphytically on trees, bark. The flowers are different than what we're used to seeing in our normal garden flowers.
Now, can these be used? I always look at these as house plants. Mm-hmm. Can they be outside, especially where we live here?
Mm-hmm. There are plenty of orchids that'll grow very well outside in Southern California. That Potinara over there, the beautiful Cattleya type orchid, that will grow outside.
Okay. And what about certain areas? You know, we have a lot of microclimates here. I live up in Rancho Santa Margarita, which, of course, not right now, but normally August we're up there about 100 degrees, and then we get quite cool and very windy up there as well.
A lot of these plants can take high temperatures up to 100 degrees, occasionally down to 32. Lalias will go just below freezing. Most of these actually, well, I think my Vandaceous orchid, the yellow and brown orchid in the back, the Ascosenda, is cool tolerant.
Let me see if I can bring
It's a Vandaceous orchid from Southeast Asia. I grow this one outside, and it blooms twice a year.
The magenta one here is very dramatic, but this one is just beautiful. So let's see. Tell me where. I'll go this way so you can get it there. That is really something.
This is subtropical. And actually, the little Neophonetia, the little white flower in front of you, which is very fragrant,
one. Yeah, it
is originally from Japan and China. And these take freezing temperatures. So I grow this one outside. Right now, I have
indirect sun?
No, we use shade cloth. Usually anywhere from about 50%, depending on where you live, to 63, maybe 70%. Especially if you're in Rancho Santa Margarita or inland areas.
So if you have, like we do, we have a balcony off the second floor. If I have these underneath that balcony where they're going to get filtered sun, that would be the place to have them.
Right. I mean, different orchids have different temperature requirements.
Okay.
So some are cooler growing, others need warmer temperatures. But we also have native orchids here in the area. If you go up into the Santa Anas, there are Epipactis and a number of other native orchids. People keep that a secret because they don't want the plants to be removed. Right.
Tell me a little bit about, Joe, about you are really the people putting on the show, Newport Harbor Orchid Society.
Mm-hmm. We were formed in 1979. We have about 170 members, and it is, we have monthly meetings the third Tuesday of each month at the Community Center in Costa Mesa. And everybody's invited. It's a meeting that's open to everybody. But you can see some of the most spectacular orchids you've ever seen there. Our members bring some very, very pretty plants. And it's a very large, active society.
Yeah, I can imagine that it is. And where I usually see these, if you go out to, for instance, the Orange County Fair or something like that, I think you display there, don't you? Or maybe other groups do.
Not this year, but we have in the past. And then, of course, this weekend we have this large festival, plant festival, and we do two of these. Well, this is our first summer that we're doing the plant festival, and then we have the largest orchid show, the February show, just before Valentine's Day.
Where's that usually at?
At the Westminster Mall. Both of these are at the Westminster Mall. They're free, open to the public. We have about 20 orchid growers and vendors and very complete displays and potting classes and lectures and various demonstrations.
How does somebody get started if they're interested in growing an orchid? Before we got on, I said we have a couple orchids at our house, and I didn't know much about them. I actually watched an episode of Ask This Old House,
Oh.
and their gardener, Roger Cook, one of the segments they did, he went to an arboretum somewhere all about orchids, and that's where I found out, gee, they can grow them from the sides of trees and didn't need
They
as
do.
much water. And from that point on, I stopped watering them on like I do my other house plants, and that on really quite every few days I was giving them too much water. But somebody wants to join the Newport Harbor or just go out, they see these sold at various locations, usually around Valentine's Day you see them. I know many markets will carry them. Is that a good way to get started?
It is certainly Trader Joe's, Home Depot. If you don't know that much about orchids, that's a good way to start. And then join a local orchid society. Here in Orange County, we have quite a few, and that meet different nights. And we have speakers. We have beginning culture classes for novice growers.
Oh, that's great.
And we do a greenhouse and garden tour. We're doing it on the 19th of October. So we go to 3 members' homes rather, in their gardens. And Joe has a large greenhouse, and then outside
Yeah, I saw that
shade area.
online, as a matter of fact, on
Right.
your website. I saw
Yeah.
a lot of pictures. We have a fantastic gardeners here and garden clubs, flower clubs. I don't know if they have an orchid one. Maybe they should look into it here.
Might be a good idea.
I think it would be. I have seen them. We do, every year they do a flower show and a garden show, and I've certainly seen orchids there, but I don't know if we have a specific orchid club or exotic plant club here.
Well, if they do form a club like that, they can invite speakers. We have a number of our members who go out and speak and do repotting demonstrations. That's one reason we do you have to know how to keep your plants healthy and the roots, keeping your roots healthy. So how to repot is very important. And once you can do that, you know how to water and properly feed them. We talk about fertilizing weekly, on a weekly basis, so once a week, ordinarily. And then, but weekly, W-E-A-K-L-Y. So you don't want to
got
overfeed
it.
them.
Weekly.
Weekly.
All right. Well, this plant show, it's happening this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's free. It's at the Westminster Mall, and it starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. On Sundays, it'll be at 11 o'clock and goes into the evening. It should be a lot of fun.
It will be.
Will be.
It will be, yes. And we have a very large art exhibit of artists from the Vietnamese Orchid Society.
Now, will
and
people
that-
be able to actually buy
Yes.
flowers and flower
Oh, yes.
plants there? Okay.
It's a big plant festival, and it's mainly a sale. And then we have the art exhibit, and then on Saturday morning at 10 a.m., a woman by the name of Shale Sacher is going to be doing an edible art demonstration. She makes flowers, and she'll be doing orchids out of sugar gum paste. And then we have a very large raffle, up to $1,000 worth of plants. People can buy raffle tickets.
Wow.
And at 2 p.m. on Sunday, if they're there with their tickets, they'll have a chance to win a lot of plants for their gardens, and tropical plants and various plants.
Well, very nice. This one's interesting too. I like that one a lot, although it may not, on camera, it may look like it doesn't have any flowers. It really does. It just happens that the flowers are green with a little bit of that maroon in them, and sort of camouflage themselves within the plant, don't they?
Exactly. It's part of nature.
Yeah.
They blend in.
And then the other one, way, way, way back here, I actually had one of these. It's a type of flycatcher, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is.
They go in these little pitchers.
It's a
pitcher
pitcher plant.
plant, yeah.
Nepenthes.
Yeah,
And from Southeast Asia, and
pretty cool.
They
They're
really
fun.
work.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I can attest to that. I had one. It didn't last too long, but it definitely caught flies. I put it by our sliding door and it worked. Well, again, that plant show is at Westminster Mall this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the mornings to the evenings. And website is on the screen there, nhosinfo.org. You can get all that information on there. And I thank both of you for
Thank
coming
you.
on and
We'd love to
bringing
have
some.
everybody come.
Yeah,
Yes,
bringing
and it's
some
free.
Beautiful stuff here. Yes,
Oh, you're
it's free.
welcome.
All right, we'll be right back in just a moment. Yeah, it's nice.